Okay, today we'll discuss about how we can create dashboards with different inputs like drop downs, multi-select and radio buttons. And also we will see how we can enable submit button in dashboard. So mainly I'll give a demo on drop downs, and the same thing will be applicable for multi-selects and other inputs as well. So we will try to create a dashboard like this. If you remember from my previous video, I have a TMDB app, right? Over there I index some movie related information. Now we'll create a dashboard from that information. Now my dashboard will have three drop downs for release year, genre ID and original language. There will be a submit button as well. Okay, and the first panel will be a single value panel where it will show the total movie count. Then we will have three different panels in the next row where we will have year wise, language wise and genre wise breakup, and last we have the movie details Splunk table. Okay, so now let me first show you the initial data we will work with. So table ID 1. So I'll take ID, release date, title, genre IDs, original language, title, overview, popularity, and underscore time. It may not be required because I am taking these values because I need to populate this table as well fully. Okay. So now this is how you start when you create a dashboard in your app or whatever app you are building, or in the search app. If you will see, there is a link called dashboards. Okay, if you go over there, I'll open a new tab. Okay, it will give you a create new dashboard options. Now if you don't find this link in your app, the most probable reason would be you have or somebody has turned off this dashboard link from the navigation menu. So to turn it on, you need to go to settings. Okay, then user interface, navigation menus. Okay, select your app and click on the navigation item. Okay, you should be able to see a view name called dashboards. Okay, if it is not there, you can add it as well so that it will appear over there. Or you can do one thing: after your app name, you can have dashboards as well in the URL and just press enter. It will give you this particular view. Okay, so let us create the new dashboard first. We'll give the name TMDB first dashboard. Okay, now we'll keep it private only, create dashboard. Okay, so first we will create these three drop downs. Okay, so to create a drop down, click on add input and drop down. Okay, for other inputs also similar way you can do it. Now I'll click on this edit one. Okay, level is what level it will appear over here. I'll say release year. Okay, now search when change, I'll tick it for initially. I'll tell you what this means. Okay, now token I'll set it up release underscore year. Okay, default I'll see it later. Now I will add a static options called all, and the value of that static option will be star. Okay, now I'll give a search string over here because this particular year should come from my data. So if you see, I have a search over here. So this is my initial data. Now if you see, my genre IDs are multi-value field somewhere. That means a movie can have more than one genres. So that's why I'll do mv expand on this one. Mv expand on genre IDs, so that now it will create for each and every genre another row. Okay, so if I run this, So if you see now it created more records. Previously it was 314 records. Let's continue. I'll rename this journal ID to journal ID so that it will be a easier name to deal with. Okay, and now if you see here, I have to give a release year, right? Now if you see my release date having year, month, date, all, so I will extract the release year from here. So to do that, what you need to do is, so first you need to convert this date to a epoch format. Always remember, when you are dealing with date from one format to another format, always first convert to epoch, then convert to other format. So I'll do eval my release underscore date epoch. Okay, so to convert it to epoch value, we have a function called strp time in Splunk. Okay, so what it does, it takes a date. This, in this case, it will be my release date, and you have to give the format of that date, right? In this case it is capital Y, month and year. So 4-digit Y in Splunk is capital Y, percent capital Y, then percent M for month, and then percent D for date. Okay, so if I run this, so it should create a new column called release date epoch. Now I'll convert it to only year. So again eval release underscore year will be my release date epoch. Now I'll convert. Now whenever you are converting to some readable format from epoch format, you have to use strf time. Okay, so release date epoch, and I'll convert it to percent %y, percent %y. Okay, now I have extracted my release here, and then I'll say fill null, whatever the uh, drop down I'll be using, I'll be doing a fill null for them, so that if there is any null value in the drop down, not defined will come. So to do that, I'll do fill null value equals to not defined, let's say, for this year. That means my release year and my genre ID and my original language. Three filters. Okay, now this is my search. Now when we create a dashboard, right, we generally create a base search, and then each and every panel will have their corresponding post processing searches. So there is a two concepts. So I will show that concept now. So before that, let us continue first. Okay, so what I'll do, for now, I'll just save this particular dashboard. Okay, now if I go to source, okay, if you see, for that input I have added, right, it has created a field set tag. Okay, inside that field set tag, all of your inputs will reside. The code related to all of your inputs will be under this field set tag only, and each and every input will have their corresponding input tag, and the type will depict what kind of input it is. Okay, and the token will say, when you will set this, when you will select something from this input, what token value it will set. Basically token are nothing but variables, you can say, in programming language. Okay, so if I select something from the drop down, the value of the drop down will be set to this token. Okay, so now before I create those inputs, let me show you how to create a base search. Okay, so to do that, outside of the field set, you have to create a search tag. Okay, and that search tag will have a ID. You can give any name to this search. Okay, now that ID will be, can be any name. I'll give base underscore search. Okay, under this search tag there should be a query tag, which query it will run. Okay, and this query I'll set it up with this one. I have it here. So I'll say this one. Okay. So now what will happen when my dashboard will load first time or anytime if you refresh as well, this search will run first. Okay, and now I will show you for each and every filters and also each and every dashboard level panel. I'll refer this base search so that I will not create separate search for each and every panel and my drop downs. That means I am reducing my number of index access here because I am accessing index here, and index access is much too much performance hit because we are always going by the raw index data, and Splunk has to run that query and to generate this data for you, right? So here only we are accessing index once, and then each and every panel and input level will show you now how to create a post processing search. Okay, so now in this case let us work on this input. So this input level I'll give release year. Okay, now here what I'll do, again we'll create a search. Okay, now in this case my search will have a base, and what base it will be referring to this base search. Okay, now this is how we are referring a base search, and whatever search it will run now, it will run on top of the result of this base search. Okay, so I'll give a search called stats count by release year. Okay, why I have given that, I'll show you now. If I say stats count by release year after this search, okay, what is happening? So each and every release here, it is giving me count, but I am more interested in populating this release underscore release year drop down, right? So in this case, I need only this column. Now why I would could have done like dedup release year as well, but stats count by release year not only giving you the unique release year names, it also be faster compared to dedup. That's why I'm using this stats count, but I will be only referring to this release year column. Okay, now how I will refer, I will show you now. Before that, I'll change this token to release underscore year, some meaningful name. I'll save it. We will edit the drop down from here. Now if you see the my drop down from the UI. Okay, now I'm in UI tab. Now I'm clicking on over here. If you see my label has been done, token has been done. Now search string I'll be giving stats count by release underscore year. Okay, it is not able to identify my search string. Let us fix that issue first. Source search. Okay, so in this case this query has to be under query tag only. Query, inside the query tag only I have to give this search, not inside the search tag. Okay, save it, edit UI, edit it from here. So now it is identifying my search string. Then I'll have my release year, fields for level. Why fields for level release year? Because this query output this release year only I will consider. So field for level and field for value both will be my release year. Apply. Now if you see my uh, uh, drop down is getting populated with all the years we have. Save it. Now let us edit this one more to see what we can add. Okay, now default value, I'll add another one over here, static value called all. Okay, the value will be star. Okay, and that value will be by default, it will, I will choose that, and initial value will be also be all. Okay, so by doing that, what it will happen, if you see by default it will be all, the token value will be by default star. Okay, now similarly let us add other inputs inside the field sets. Now it is really easier to add other inputs because I'll just copy paste this code, okay, to create another input. So copy paste. Now in this case I will have another drop down, but in this case it will be my gener ID, my token will be gener ID, and the label will be, I can refer it from here, gener and gener ID, gener ID. Now stats count by, it will be my gener underscore id, right? Gener id. Field for label will be gener id. Field for value will also be gener id, right? Other value will be same. I'll add a all choice, default value will be all, and initial value will be all as well. Similarly for release year also I'll add another input. So I'll say not release year, sorry, original language. So I'll give the token name origin underscore nl, and then I'll give the name as original language. Okay, now stats count by original language. Similarly, field for label will be original language, field for value will be original language. Click on save. Let's see. Okay, so my three drop downs are ready, my general IDs and my original language. Now we will go ahead and add our inputs panels. Okay, to do that, click on edit. Okay, click on add panel. Now first panel is my single value, so from the new panel list I will choose single value here. Okay, now in this tutorial we will not be going to use time picker. Okay, now give the title total movies, right? Now we are creating this particular panel here, which will give me the list. Now search string, again we will have our same base search. From that search I'll just run this one. So from the search, what I'll do here, now after I apply MV expand, there could be a possibility that my, because of my general ID is more than one, it could have created more than one rows for a single movie ID. In this case I'll add DW ID. Okay, and then stats count. So this will be my panel level search. Okay, so I'll add this one only here, but from the UI, if you see, there is no way you can and refer the base search, so that we will go to source and add it. Now I will add to the dashboard. Okay, now it will show 0 now because I need to add this base equals to base search here in this search. Okay, if I save now, it will be 260. Now I have to format this as well. So to format a visualization, go to edit mode and be in this UI tab, and there is an option called format visualization. Okay, caption give total movies, color I'll say yes, and the color I'll be using this one for maximum one, and I'll be using this format. Okay, so that it will be full colors. Number format I think I'll keep as is. So we have created this panel. Now if I go to source here, if you see, for panels it is creating separate row, and under the row for each other panel there is a panel tag. So this is important. Now inside the panel tag, what kind of, based on the visualization, it will create corresponding tags. Like if it is a single value, it will create this single tag. Under that, it will have this title, its own search, and different options. Whichever we have done from that UI, right, formatted, those options will be there. That is like range colors, levels, like this. Okay, so let us add another panel over here. Mm, the next panel will be my another row. Okay, in that row I will have three pie charts. So I'll say add panel, new pie chart. Okay, now first pie chart will be year wise breakup. So title will be year wise breakup. Okay, my search string, it will be similar. So I'll say dedup id, then stats count by my release year. Okay, so this will give me each and every year what is my movie count, distinct movie count. Okay, now here we have to remember one thing which I will discuss now. Okay, now before that, we'll just add this one here, similar way. So it is creating a new row, but I have to go to my source. Okay, and I have to add this base equals to base search to this panel as well. Okay, now as we are not using time picker, we will remove this time picker earliest and latest tokens from all of your panels. Okay, now here is one thing. Now we have added three inputs right over here. Those inputs, if I select something from this drop down, my panel should also get refreshed, right? So to do that, we need to pass these tokens to our panel level search as well, right? To do that, what I'll do, I'll give similar something like this search. Okay, then my release year, because release year is coming from my search query. So my release year will be, now to pass a token, you have to pass within the dollar sign. What token I will pass? This token I will pass for the release year drop down. Okay, so now then again genre id, so I'll select genre id equals to again dollar this genre id token for genre id drop down. And for original language, this is the value. Original language, my token name is orig_ln. Okay, so this one. So what will happen, runtime what will happen is, before this data, right, one string will be added, and these values will be the token values whatever you are selecting from the drop downs. Okay, now these things I have to add everywhere, all of my panels. Okay, now save it. Now if you see, if I select something from here, it is all are getting filtered. Okay, so similarly we'll add now language wise and genre wise breakup. So similar way, edit, add panel, new pie chart. Okay, now we say language wise breakup. Okay, the search string will be similar kind of string. So this one and count by original language, right? Similar. Okay, add to dashboard, go to source, language wise breakup, give this base search name in my search. Okay, remove this time token because as we are not using any time filter now. Okay, save it. Now if you see here, these two are coming in different rows, right? To make it a single row, what we'll do, you have two options. Either you can drag and drop it here, okay? So in this case it will be single row, or you can remove that row tag from different rows, okay? Now if I go to source, what I said by row tag is, if you see, the first single value is in separate row tag, this row tag, and now these two panels are in single row tag only. If you see, row tag is been finished over here, okay? So now let us add another one. Add input, sorry, add panel, new pie chart. Now we have done genre wise, year wise, and then genre wise breakup. Wise breakup, okay? Similar search string, I'll go over here and then select genre ID instead of this one. So copy, paste, add to dashboard. Now again it is coming to a separate row. I'll move this to here, okay? And again I'll go to source, go to my genre wise breakup, and give this base search. In my search, remove this earliest latest token, okay? Save it. So now this is also ready, my three, and I'll add the last one now. So add panel, in this case it will be a Splunk table, right? So statistical table, okay? Give movie details. My search string will be similar to this. In this case I am just giving till my DDAP ID. I need this table level, right? So copy, Control V, add to dashboard, okay? Now again go to source. For this movie details table, remove this earliest latest and add this base search, okay? Save. Now if you see, my dashboard is ready except my submit button. We'll discuss the submit button now, but before that let us check it out whether all my things are working or not. Now if I select 2009, and if you see, all these panels getting refreshed with the 2009 data. Now if I select genre, any genre, now it is no result found because 2009 is I have already selected. Now if I only select genre 10402, based on that it is selecting everything, okay? Now if you see here, how, if I see the code now, source, each and every input have their search when change is true, okay? So now if I go to UI, okay, and see each and every input, there is a search when change. By default it is true basically. If I add this one, I'll try to show you. Apply. Now what search when change is true means, when you will change something or you will select something, right, it will run the search automatically, okay? Suppose I am selecting 104, okay, let us refresh the dashboard. So if I selecting 10402, based on that it will automatically run the search and it will give you the result. Now to add a submit button to your dashboard, right? But why you need submit button? Because if you see here, whenever I am selecting something from, whenever I'm selecting something from this drop down, it automatically refreshing this dashboard, right? So now if I want to select all the drop downs, then only I want my dashboards to refresh. In that case I will add the submit button. So in that case, until unless I am clicking on the submit button, my dashboard will not get refreshed. So to do that, I'll go to edit and source. If you see field set, there is a submit button equals to false. You have to make it true. Okay, and everywhere wherever such one change is true, you have to make it false. Okay, false, false. Okay, save it. Let's see our dashboard behavior. Now we have run initially, we have loading the dashboard. What will you see? Each and every drop downs and panel is not loading at all until and unless I'm clicking on submit. Okay, but what if I want, when my dashboard will initially load, first time load, it should, the behavior should be without submit button only. In that case, there is an option called auto run. Okay, that you have to add to this field set. AUTO or auto run equals to true. So this will enable the initial load. Now let us see. I will remove all these tokens and refresh this dashboard. Now if you see, without clicking on submit button, my initial dashboard loaded initially. Now I select something, let's say journal ID 10402. So it is not refreshing the dashboard until and unless I'm clicking on submit. Okay, now if I see release year, let's say 2018, journal ID, let's say 99. Now it will allow you to select more than one filter, then click on submit. Based on that, it will filter your dashboard data. So this is how you create those interactive drop downs and panels, which will basically refresh based on the whatever value you're selecting from these drop downs. Okay, in Splunk dashboard. In next videos, I will try to discuss more about other types of inputs, which will be behavior wise similar, but they have some kind of subtle differences, specifically multi-select, which requires a specific discussion. So that I will be doing it in next videos. Okay, see you in next video. Thank you.